Hey, welcome to Stately Mouse Manor this morning.
Oh, early Saturday morning, and I don't know what the hell's wrong with me, but I'm up. So I figured I'd stay up. And figured, the reason I'm wearing the robe, let me get straightened up, is basically when I woke up this morning, I've got two pair of these. One's a set of briefs, which is I'm wearing, and these are the boxers. But, I woke up with my superpowers underwear this morning. Figured if I want to shoot a video, you guys may not want to see that. So anyway, pretty good week it seems like. Got to worked a whole lot, and sleep's a little bit messed up, but I've been able to start trying to catch up on videos and stuff. There's a lot of good stuff going on out there, man. Constant Bromstar has his Dear Diary edition where we really get into, see the what makes Constant Bromstar tick. That was a cool video. Sleepy Reader did a great, Sleepy Reader 666 did a great, what I considered video on an experiment, yesterday versus yesteryear. He took two Wonder Woman trades, one from the late 60s and I think the first, I don't know, 6-7 issues of the new Brian Azzarello run, and he compared the two. Really great stuff. And actually I've been waiting on a comment on that because I've actually watched it in pieces. Like I'll split it up and watch. Basically, I'm watching it in two parts, but I've watched it twice. Really enjoyed it, man. If you're, really want to talk about comics, get in there and it's nothing but comics and stuff like that. It's really cool to compare like that. So I really enjoyed it. I tell you what, man. And then Oddfellow Thoughts has the Oddfellow Thoughts. Still waking up. Oddfellow Thoughts has been doing a series of What the Feud, and I can't put my finger on what it is, but I think those get better and better. He's just doing comic book news and a few thoughts on the comic book industry, and check it out. Those are pretty good. And sure, I'm forgetting somebody. I enjoyed Captain Cummings and Dr. Rockstar had the birthday party for Spider-Man's 50th birthday. That was kind of cool. Made me want cake. And of course, he followed up with he got the big piece of beef meat or whatever, and he showed you how to smoke it, in a grill, and kind of made me hungry too. So last night I went and got one of those amazing cheeseburgers down the road. All right, what I've been up to basically is I heard about the website before, and apparently I got on there and started an account and never finished it, and now I don't know the password, so I had to start a new account. And I believed it was maybe, I'm not going to say the name because what I found out is a lot of people have their stuff on private, so I don't want to, put anybody out there that doesn't want to be out there. But there's a few people in the community I found, one or two I found as members. But I'm getting on comicbookdatabase.com, and the actual web site URL address is comicbookdb.com. And what you can do is that you can go through the system, type in your comic books, and you can have store all your comic books information on there automatically. And in about 2 nights, I was able to put about, I think I'm up to like 2,600 comics on there, give or take. And it really isn't that bad. You can put in like a batch of numbers, like 1 through 20, and then like individual issues 56, 59 all at once, and it'll put them on there. And it really needed to be done. If you want to look me up on there, go click on. They'll have a menu on the I think the way I'm looking at it, left side of the web page, and you can click members, and I'll be Howler Mouse 2. I'm on there as Howler Mouse, but apparently, I made an account so long ago I don't remember the password, and they have zero help there from what I can find to help you find passwords and stuff. So I just started a new account. There's nothing on the first one, so it's Howler Mouse 2, and it's going to be a work in progress because I think I haven't even hit a fifth of my collection on there, from what I can tell. And I get on there, man, and it's amazing the stuff that I'm finding missing and the stuff that I have. And excuse me. And so basically, what I'm going to do here is just kind of show a few things that I have found that either I forgot I had, or things that like if I did a top 10 video, I'd probably have to reconsider putting these books in there. You know, it's kind of cool to find some things. I don't think there's anything here to blow you away, but you know, just some finds. When you read superhero comic books and stuff over and over and over for, you know, over the years and stuff, you kind of, I've personally gotten a taste for the things that are a little bit different or a little bit more fun or something, not as serious, or just offbeat stories and stuff like that. You know, again, I don't want to hype it up. I mean, this is stuff I found. It's not so much I found this, but this will kind of lead up to the first thing I want to show, man. You know, Mad about superheroes. Mad Magazine, you know, or is just so much different than what it used to be. You know, it used to be humorous and smart, and actually they do like some social commentary stuff through humor and just kind of look at life. And cartoonists who were just kind of offbeat. You know, we all know hopefully who Don Martin is, and if not, you need to look up the stuff, because that guy pretty much to me was the first person to bring in kind of like a black comedy, you know, to as mainstream as Mad could be, you know. And he predates like Monty Python and stuff. You know, he was great. But you know, I always kind of enjoyed their satires on movies and stuff. And you know, I remember finding this a couple years ago where they finally collected a whole bunch of the superhero stuff. You know, which is great, man. They, you know, just issues from the past that they have in here, and you know, a lot of Superman stuff, X-Men parodies, Sergio Aragonis, and the great Don Martin, their take on superheroes and stuff, the sound effects and comic books, you know, just over the years of Mad. But, you know, the roads that lead to comics and how comics is influenced and the little, you know, subculture that it can be and stuff, you know, the roads that lead you there, you know, are often varied and stuff. And I remember as a kid, in 1981, you know, I loved the Charlie Brown cartoons when they'd come on as specials around the holidays and stuff, and they'd throw an extra one out there and stuff. Sunday Funnies, you know, were all colorful and had a lot more variety and stuff, and had a little bit of everything, and you know, just, you know, good times and stuff like that. And then, you know, I read this. I was about 8 years old, the Mad Comics Super Special, and amazingly that, you know, they just look at the comics, the Sunday Funnies, and some of the superhero stuff that was out there, and just great stuff. I mean, packed from cover to back cover, just full of stuff. I remember reading this and rereading this, and just, you know, it was awesome. It was great, you know. But there was some subtle humor in there where, you know, I was too young to understand what was going on and stuff. But they showed, like, the first thing you see, and I'm glad I didn't know this, is that, like, you have some great, you know, of the comic funnies' greatest couples: Popeye, Olive Oil, Dagwood and Blondie, Little Abner and what's her name. You see them party, and you see them all leaving with different people, and it turns out it was a key party. No idea what that was when I was little. And you know, you turn the page, and I still don't know to this day if this was real or not, but this is where I started taking in stuff on the comic book history and the creators and stuff. They brought in people like Charles Schultz and stuff, and asked them to do a comic strip of what they really wanted to do. So, like, even though they have all these collected editions of Peanuts and stuff like that, here's some lost comics if they really did this, you know. And they had Mary Worth, and brought in Mort Walker to do Beetle Bailey, you know. Guys, you know, if this is real, these guys got to do a little something different, and it's funny, you know, it's funny, and it's not really in bad taste. And I can go on and on, man. It's all kinds of stuff where they parody Charlie Brown and the Funnies, Sunday Funnies and stuff. But some of the talent they had to get in this. Don Martin looks at Spider-Man, you know. But some of the people they had to do this, man, here's Wally Wood. And Wally Wood was such a great artist. He did these strips with Al Jaffee, you know, that we all know. And he, well, can't really get it in there, but he homaged each creator's style down to a perfect T. I mean, it's perfect for what he had in there. You know, Charles Schultz, Superman. If you guys are a Bone fan out there, you need to really check out Pogo. You know, stuff like that, and it just amazes me. I mean, it's dead on interpretations. I mean, Wally Wood was the man. Of course, he had his own style. And, you know, it wasn't the first time he did it. Apparently, Wally Wood got in here and did it earlier, because they have another section. You know, a lot of comic strip characters were also as old as their strips. You know. My favorite one here, from being a kid, being a Tarzan fan, was, Tarzan does the big call out to the animals and stuff, and loses his teeth, his gut comes out, and his hair falls off. So, great stuff. And what get me is Dunes Seminis grew up to be a U.S. delegate. Man, I hate that when people just show up for a second. Who knew? Well, so, great stuff, great stuff. And there's all this stuff is just packed full of stuff. So that was also an awesome read. Found Bruce Jones, who's a writer. Apparently, I bought this off him at a comic book convention years ago. Forgot all about it, but he did his interpretation of the Hulk after Kirby, and was selling these, cheap as a print, which was kind of cool. Some things that I have in here, I was just like, how the hell did they get that? How did that get in here? So okay. And then there's some sad things that you find and stuff like that. Like, I love this comic and I hadn't seen it in a while, and it's kind of sad because now when I find it, I'm gonna be very, depressed. It's just a shame when that happens at all. And then I found, a book that, I have and I've never read, and I can't believe it. So, I got a little bit more to add to the big flea market haul I had last weekend to read this. I've heard great things about this. I love the cover. I even got the Wizard special, or the Wizard article in there, where it shows how Alex Ross was, the process of him drawing this, from penciling, to the black inks, to the painting, to the airbrush. And he used his own face as the Joker. So that's actually Alex Ross's face that he used to model the Joker by. So, and, he showed the model that he used as Harley Quinn, where she was in costume, so you could understand how the light hits it. So, I can't believe that I've got that and I've never read that. Okay. One fun book of mine that I actually like is an Animal Man story where it brings in the Bigfoot. I'm a guy that if you bring in cavemen, jungle characters, Bigfoot, I don't know, these real, I guess, earthy characters and stuff like that, I'm all for it. And this is a nice little story. I mean, it's kind of like a satisfying story. It's not going to get you or anything like that. But, there's a tribe of Bigfoot in the woods. And, it's very shaman-like. Just put it that way. Yeah, very good. And if you want to look that up, that's Animal Man 66. One of those books I'll probably just never get rid of. Just a quirky little story, Don't pay more than 50 cents, $1 a quarter for it. It's never going to be worth anything, but I just really enjoyed it. Okay. Another book I really enjoyed, and I think this one's worth finding just to have a little bit of fun with it and stuff. It's an ABC book. It's the Many Worlds of Tesla Strong. It was a one-shot back in 2003. Very Kirby-esque cover, and that's because that is Bruce Timm who did the cover for this one. I think it had several different covers. And this was sort of like a jam story. What happens is, let me see, basically when Tom Strong's ape companion, King Solomon, that's their very well etiquette, he probably wears something like this, kind of ape, becomes lost in another dimension. It's up to Tom's daughter Tesla to find him. Her quest covers a dozen worlds and as many alternate versions of herself and her family, as the 64-issue epic can hold. Writer Peter Hogan is joined by a roster of artists such as Art Adams, J. Scott Campbell, Claudio Castellini, Frank Cho, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Great to see him on this. Mike Golden, Adam Hughes, Phil Noto, Jason Pearson, Chris Sprouse, and Carl Story in an exciting romp through exotic locals as Tesla and her friends face deadly new foes and attempt to rescue King Solomon. It doesn't get better than that, folks. And the artwork in here is just superb, man. Everybody nailed it. J. Scott Campbell got to draw the dimension where she gets there where everybody is nude. And she meets a version of her family and stuff, and they're all just like, what are these? What are you wearing? She's got clothes and all this stuff. And then of course I got Frank Cho to come in, and he did the chapter of Spider Priestess, and it's a whole dimension where everybody's still like jungle characters. Great stuff in there. and you know, it's for the tigers and everything like that. Just kind of explores all these little genres and little worlds and stuff. They get to the world where it's just flat out, straight out superheroes. Everybody's a superhero on this planet. Looks like that's Adam Hughes. You know, so I mean, it's just one little adventure after the other. She lands on one planet apparently where everything is underwater, and they live side by side, like with talking killer whales and stuff. You know, everything's underwater. They're swimming. I think everybody's like mer people is what it is. Yeah. And, you know, I read this repeatedly and repeatedly when it first came out. Great splash page. As she travels through the dimensions, much very Silver Surfer-like. And I remember reading it, and, you know, like I said, it got put up, and I forgot about it. So when I found it, man, it was just like excitement all over again. So, you know, that's a neat little story. Back in the 90s, man, people talk about 90s glut and stuff like that. And they turn around and everybody was like merging their universes, man. I think Valiant and Image did it first. Then, you know, everybody started doing it throughout the 90s. We had the great DC versus Marvel amalgam. The Valiant and Image stuff was 1992, you know. And Warren Ellis came in and they did a little story here where it was a prelude. But basically Marvel had bought up Avengers. I think this is before they did it. And it was things to come, but they got George Perez to come in, and they did this little Ultraverse Force versus Avengers kind of crossover. And then they had Warren Ellis come in with George Perez, and they merged the universes. Okay? Countdown to Black September. This is part 5 of 5 or whatever the event was. But the only one I think you need is this. It's Ultra Force Avengers #1. And basically it's just beautiful George Perez art, and he's given credit as a storyteller of Warren Ellis. And it's they merge Ultra Force and Avengers and retell the story of, you know, how the Avengers have been in this world. And of course it's Warren Ellis, you know, merging all the characters and everything like that. You know, you get weird versions of the Fantastic Four with Ultraverse characters. And it's just a fun little story, man. You know, the way they do these characters and stuff. And, you know, things go all crazy and stuff as it intensifies, the story intensifies, and we get even more versions. And they mix, you know, Avengers, they mix Avengers lore with, you know, in this to make some great little continuity things. And then it gets worse, you know, it gets more and more intense. We see more and more characters popping up, different ways they would be merged and stuff. My favorite page there is all the different Thors flying around. You know, you got, looks like a priest Thor, and, you know, you start looking in the backgrounds, there's all these little Easter eggs there that you can find. This is one of those fun books to flip through, and, you know, you start picking up stuff. And then we get the big huge 2-page spread that he's famous for. You know, even just being an Avengers fan, this is something you might want to get. Now, the thing about this page, though, this big 2-page spread, this is full of all sorts of indie characters from back then. Okay, when you get in there and stuff. There's American Flag in here, iBots, snuck in Gru, and not only is Gru in there, man, but I think he's got Conan up above him. So we finally get to see Gru and Conan meet. They got Breed, you know, so, you know, all these characters join the Avengers on this page and stuff. Trying to see if there's anybody that really stands out. I mean, if you get this, and it's kind of cool, Edge is in there, and, you know, and like I said, with all the Thors and stuff, they have, you know, all the different hammers and stuff from all these different versions of Thor. So, yeah, it was really cool, really cool. I think she got hold of a lot of the Infinity Gems or something. You know, it's just a cool little book. And to wind this up here, you know, I'll save this. I'm going to do a part 2 here since we're at 20 minutes. So, okay, guys, I got 3 more books in part 2 coming up. So we'll get those up here in just a second. Make sure you check it out. It's the good stuff.